The story begins with a boy named Rio, who is heading to his lake house with his parents to spend the summer holidays. Soon, Rio and his family arrive at their lake house, which is located very close to the lake. After unpacking their belongings, Rio meets his friend Shay. Both of them were just stepping into adulthood, and naturally, their focus was mostly on girls. After spending some time hanging out with Shay, Rio returns home and begins organizing his room. While doing so, his eyes drift outside the window. He notices that a new couple has moved into the neighboring house. The husband's name was Max, and his wife's name was Nina. Nina was extremely young and beautiful, and Rio couldn't take his eyes off her. To get a closer look at Nina, Rio grabs his bicycle and pretends to be fixing it outside. During this, Nina notices him too, but they don't talk. That evening, when Rio meets Shay again, he tells him, "A young girl has moved in next door." Later, when Rio returns home, his father Nathan asks him to visit the new neighbors so they could get acquainted. Rio's mother, Livia, tells Max that her son is still studying and is quite knowledgeable about boats, which is why they bring him here every year. Max owned a boat himself. He asks Rio, "Would you like to work on my boat?" Rio loved working on boats, so he gladly agrees. The next day, Rio visits Max's boat and starts inspecting it. While doing so, he spots Nina having fun in the river as she heads toward the boat. The boat had a netted bathroom, and Nina begins bathing in it right in front of Rio. He stares at her wide-eyed, completely mesmerized, when Max suddenly appears next to him. When Max asks him about the boat, Rio says, "Everything seems fine, it just needs a little repair." They then discuss work timings and payment. That night, while Rio is asleep, he's awakened by loud screams, Nina's screams. Max was abusing and assaulting her. The next morning, while Rio is in his room, he sees Nina heading somewhere. Moments later, he hears her scream again. He rushes out and finds that Nina was scared by a spider in her car, which had also broken down in the process. Rio kills the spider and then checks the car. As he helps her, Nina thanks him warmly. The way she got close made Rio feel a bit awkward, so he quickly fixed the car and left. Rio worked on Max's boat every morning, and in the rest of his day, he enjoyed working at a nearby restaurant and meeting new people. One night, as he returns home, he sees Nina waiting for him. When Rio asks her why, she says she lost her house key and couldn't get inside. She requests his help, and Rio agrees. He breaks a window to get in and opens the door for her. While doing this, he injures himself. Nina tends to his wound, cleaning and dressing it. As Rio watches Nina so closely, he becomes aroused, while Nina, already thirsty for affection, draws closer. Rio can't control himself and kisses her. Nina responds too. Suddenly, Rio pulls away, trying to control himself, but Nina had something else in mind. Nina arouses Rio so much that he begins making explosive love to her in her cave. And just like that, their affair begins. Max had been away for a few days, which made it easy for Rio and Nina to meet without raising suspicion. A few days later, when Max returns, he notices a malfunction in his boat. Angry, he starts scolding Rio for the poor maintenance. Rio doesn't like his attitude, so Max tries to explain, "If you want to be successful in life, you need to stay focused and committed to your work." Max then opens up about his relationship with Nina. He says, "I fulfill all her wishes, but she's never happy with me." Although Max was back now, Nina would still find opportunities to meet Rio, and each time, Rio would passionately satisfy her again and again. One day, while they were enjoying themselves, Nina confides in Rio that Max is extremely dangerous. "If he ever finds out about us," she warns, "he'll kill us both." She then shows Rio bruises on her body, which Max had inflicted. The sight of her injuries fills Rio with rage, but Nina calms him down and urges him to stay quiet. The next day, Max takes Nina and Rio on a boat trip. Seizing the opportunity, Nina tries to kill Max, but neither Max nor Rio realizes what she's attempting. That night, Nina calls Rio outside a hospital. Max had beaten her badly again. Rio insists on going to the police, but Nina refuses out of fear. She explains, There's no need for you to do anything. I'm going to divorce Max anyway. The following day, Shay meets Rio and starts suspecting him because Rio had stopped paying attention to other girls like he used to. After repeatedly pressing him, Rio finally admits, "I'm in love with Nina." That same night, Nina invites Rio over to her house. When he arrives, he's shocked to see Max's dead body lying in front of him. Nina tells him, "He was trying to kill me, so I attacked him in self-defense." And he died. Once again, Rio suggests going to the police, but Nina stops him. She wants to quietly dispose of the body. So, Rio devises a plan. The next day, he follows his regular routine. Later that night, he disguises himself in Max's clothes and heads toward the boat. A security guard sees him on the way and becomes suspicious. But Rio had mimicked Max's appearance so well that the guard doesn't recognize him. Rio boards the boat, places Max's body inside, sails a short distance away, and sets the boat on fire. The next day, police discover Max's body and inform Nina about it. That night, while Rio is working at the bar, some police officers arrive there. From their conversation, Rio learns that Nina is about to receive a large insurance payout following Max's death. They also mention that an insurance officer named Maria is coming to investigate the case, someone known for being extremely strict. The next day, Officer Maria arrives and meets with the sheriff. He gives her all the details of the case, and soon, an official interrogation with Nina begins. From the beginning, Maria is suspicious of Nina. Nina, frustrated by Maria's tough questioning, leaves with her lawyer. Meanwhile, the security guard tells the sheriff, "I did see Max that night, but I have a feeling it wasn't really him." But it wasn't Max that the guard saw that night. He had seen someone else. Rio eventually discovers this and becomes desperate to know who the guard actually saw. He questions the guard repeatedly, but the guard refuses to tell him anything. Sheriff, noticing this, becomes suspicious. He wonders why Rio is so interested in the case. Later, he visits the restaurant and confronts Rio directly, saying, "If you know anything about this case, tell me now." But Rio avoids the question and pays no attention to his words. Soon after, Maria and the sheriff begin searching Nina's house, hoping to find some solid evidence. That's when Maria spots a broken window, and on it, she notices traces of blood. Tests later confirm that the blood belongs to Rio. At the same time, the sheriff also notices that Rio's room faces Nina's house directly. This means he could have seen everything happening inside Nina's house from his window. These clues prompt them to interrogate Rio. When Maria asks him questions, Rio admits that Max used to drink a lot, but when asked more about Nina, he doesn't share much. Maria warns him sternly, "If you're hiding anything from us, you could end up in jail." This deeply angers Rio's parents, and they take him back home immediately. Later that day, Rio meets Nina again. Nina tells him, "No matter what happens, no one can find out about our relationship. We also need to hide the phones we used to talk." Hearing this, Rio hides both his and Nina's phones at Shia's house. Later, when Rio returns home, his parents find some of Nina's clothes in his room. Furious, they confront him. Rio confesses everything honestly. He tells them that he was indeed in a relationship with Nina, but insists that he had nothing to do with Max's death. Just then, the sheriff arrives to arrest Rio. The blood found on the window had confirmed his presence at the crime scene. Panicked, Rio runs to Shi's house. There, he unexpectedly meets Nina. Moments later, the police arrive. Sensing trouble, Nina immediately tears her clothes and pretends that Rio was trying to assault her. Shocked and helpless, Rio is arrested on the spot. Seeing Nina's cunning and betrayal shakes Rio to the core. He gathers himself and tells the sheriff, "I didn't kill Max. Just give me some time, and I'll prove my innocence." The sheriff, who secretly believes Rio, purposely allows him to escape custody. Rio runs straight to Nina's house. There, he finds multiple fake passports hidden in a drawer. Before he can process this, Maria arrives at the house. Holding the fake passports, she begins to take Nina away. But when Rio sees the two of them together, he finally understands the truth. It was all a trap.
In reality, Maria and Nina were lovers. They had planned this entire scheme together to kill Max and claim his money from the insurance. And Rio? He was just a scapegoat, used and thrown aside. At that moment, Rio is so furious that he feels like shooting Nina right there, but he controls himself. After they leave, the police finally arrest Rio, but using the evidence he had discovered, Rio manages to prove his innocence and get himself released. Before the police can arrest Nina, she escapes with Maria to another country. And just like that, this story comes to an end. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy such thrilling stories, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll meet again in the next video. Until then, goodbye.